Hello everybody and welcome back to Creation Myths. I have a really short video for you today because on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024, I got to have a debate with Dr. Casey Luskin of Discovery Institute on junk DNA in the human genome. Now, of course, I argued that most of the genome is in fact junk DNA. He argued that based on the current state of the literature, we can attribute function to most of the human genome. But then in his closing, right at the very end of his closing argument, he said this.
Instead, I've seen that the literature is replete with function, and the trend line of the research shows that we should anticipate more and more function is going to be found. And I think that these percentages of functional elements in the genome are going to go up, up, up. And we're just getting started. I mean, it could be another 100 years before we cross that 50% threshold, but I predict we're going to get there and we're going to go above that.
All right, Dr. Dan, go ahead and do a closer. Then I'll do a quick super chat, and then we'll wrap it up.
I just first thank you just at the very end there. I don't know if you meant to do that, but thank you for acknowledging that right now we've not crossed the 50% threshold. I appreciate
Not
that.
from what we know. Not from what we know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I want to repeat that because I think that's a significant admission. He said, quote, "The trend line of the research shows that we should anticipate more and more function is going to be found, and I think that these percentages of functional elements in the genome are going to go up, 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 and we're just getting started." I mean, it could be another 100 years before we cross that 50% threshold, but I predict we're going to get there and we're going to get above that. And when I pointed out immediately after that he acknowledged that we cannot attribute function to 50% of the genome based on what we currently know, he said, quote, "not from what we know." I point this out because this is quite different from the message we usually hear from Discovery Institute on junk DNA. They seem to endorse the position that a veritable mountain of research shows that the human genome is almost entirely functional. But that's clearly at odds with Dr. Luskin's statement that I just showed. And if it's no longer the case that they think, or at least that Dr. Luskin thinks, that the human genome, based on the existing data we have, is mostly functional, then I'm happy to see that we can agree on that. So I just wanted to take a moment to point that out because I think that's really the key moment from this conversation I had with Dr. Luskin. So thank you for watching. As always, please remember to like, share, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, leave a comment, and don't get fooled.